Looking for the best AM5 motherboard to suit your needs? In this video, we're diving into some of the top options available right now. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the links in the description to find the best deals within your budget. Let's get Number 1. ASUS ROG Strix X670E. The absolute best motherboard for Ryzen 7000 and 9000 series CPUs. The ASUS ROG Strix X670E is a motherboard that always shows up in discussions about high-end Ryzen builds, and for good reason. This board is packed with expansion options, giving you plenty of room to upgrade. It comes with multiple PCIe X16 and M.2 slots, but the real highlight is how many of them support PCIe 5.0 speeds. You get 2 PCIe 5.0 X16 slots and 3 PCIe 5.0 M.2 slots for ultra-fast SSDs. That's a huge amount of PCIe 5.0 bandwidth, especially since most competing X670E boards only offer 2 PCIe 5.0 M.2 slots. Power delivery is also excellent, thanks to its 18 plus 2-stage VRM design, which provides more than enough power even for top-tier CPUs like the Ryzen 9 9950X. For memory, it supports DDR5 speeds up to 8000 MHz, with plenty of headroom for overclocking your CPU, RAM, and other components. But it's not just about the big specs, this board also nails the essentials. You get 8 fan headers for great cooling options, an error code display that makes troubleshooting easier, heatsinks for your SSDs, and a generous number of USB ports for the front of your case. On the back panel, you'll find 12 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports plus a super-fast USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 port. For networking, it includes Intel 2.5 gigabits Ethernet, which is more than enough for gaming and content creation. The audio setup is also impressive, with 5 audio jacks and an optical output. And even if you don't care about the detailed specs, there's one thing that stands out immediately: the design. The Strix X670E looks fantastic, featuring the classic ROG style, sleek black styling with clean RGB lighting, not too flashy, and not overloaded with branding. It fits perfectly into almost any build. When you combine all of this performance, features, cooling, connectivity, and style, the ASUS ROG Strix X670E clearly stands out as one of the best motherboards you can choose for a high-end Ryzen build. Number 2. MSI MPG X8 7-to-carbon Wi-Fi, which really showcases what AMD's latest X870 chipset brings to the M5 platform. We're talking about a top-of-the-line board here, loaded with pretty much every cutting-edge connectivity option you could want. It's got SI 5.0 for those super-fast graphics cards and SSDs, support for seriously speedy DDR5 RAM at 8400 MHz and beyond, USB 4.0 for blazing fast transfers, 5G networking, and the latest Wi-Fi 7 with Bluetooth 5.4, from what people are saying, pairing this board with a high-end CPU like the AMD Ryzen 79800X3D really makes things fly. It's not just about the benchmark numbers though. This motherboard is absolutely packed with ports, headers and slots. You're getting 2 USB-C 4.0 ports running out of blistering 40 GB per second, 2 more USB-C ports at 10 bit per second, and a whopping NUSBA ports also at 10 bit per second. It's interesting to see they skipped the older USB 2.0 and 5 bit per second ports entirely, which suggest a clear focus on future-proofing and pushing for faster devices while still letting you plug in your older stuff. Power delivery looks robust too, with an 18 plus 2 plus 1 DRPST power stage design. Even the automatic settings in the BIOS are pretty spot on, working seamlessly with high-speed DDR5 memory and top-tier CPUs. Now the one thing that might make you pause is the price. This motherboard is definitely on the higher end, and with component prices potentially going up, it might be a stretch for some budgets, but if that doesn't concern you, the MSI MPG X8 7-to-carbon Wi-Fi is definitely a serious contender for any build. And finally, Number 3. Gigabyte X870 aorus Elite. Now this is a more advanced motherboard, rocking the very latest X870 chips, so you know it's built to squeeze every last bit of performance out of those M5 Ryzen CPUs. It boasts a beefy 16 plus 2 plus 2 VRM setup rated at 110A, so if you were lucky enough to snag a Ryzen 79800X3D, this board is ready for it. And for the memory enthusiasts out there, it supports speeds up to DDR5 8600, which is backed by AI overclocking. That's pretty neat since it can figure out the best settings for your specific components. And this board is quite loaded in regard to storage and connectivity as well. You get 4 M2 slots for your ME SSDs, and 3 of them are the blazing fast SI 5.0. You're also swimming in USB ports, with 2 super speedy USB 4.0 ports with 40 bit per seconds, for USB 3.2 Gen 2, for USB 3.2 Gen 1, and even a couple of USB 2.0 ports for good measure. And for networking, you're future-proofed with Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and even a 5B Ethernet port. But here's the thing, it's not just about the raw specs. Gigabyte has really focused on those little quality of life improvements here. You see the Wi-Fi antenna, it's a simple push on now, no more messing with those tiny screw pigtails. All the M.2 slots are toolless too, that means no more hunting for dropped screws. Even the M.2 heat sinks have magnets to help you line them up perfectly. Besides, the main SI 5.0 slot even has an easy unlatch button, and of course, there are debug LEDs, always a welcome sight when you're troubleshooting. So with the Gigabyte X8 70 aorus Elite, you're not just getting top-tier performance, you're also getting a board that's clearly designed with the builder in mind, making the whole experience just that much better. Number 4. MSI MPG X8 70 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. Now this board gives off a real premium feel at less than a premium price. People have already become fans of its impressive build quality, and it's packed with lots of connectivity options. When it comes to performance, the 14+2+1 VRMs seem to handle both gaming and productivity tasks really well. It also opens up some nice overclocking potential for those high-end AM5 CPUs. Users who've put it through its paces mention the VRMs stay surprisingly cool under pressure. What's also cool about this board is how user-friendly it is. Apparently MSI has included a bunch of what they call these DIY features, which is pretty much like having a helping hand during the PC building process. And for the gamers out there, this motherboard has an AI LAN manager tool that's getting some buzz. The idea is it helps prioritize network traffic to give you the lowest possible ping, which is always a win in competitive games. Connectivity-wise, you're looking at a ton of USB ports, 11 on the back and 9 up front, so you shouldn't be running out of places to plug things in anytime soon. The only slight drawback some people mention is the for SATA 3 connectors. For a board in this price range, a few more would have been nice, but overall, the MSI MPG X8 70 Tomahawk Wi-Fi looks like a solid all-around performer with some really thoughtful features. If you're serious about competitive gaming or a first-time builder looking for a smoother experience, this board definitely deserves a look. Number 5. Gigabyte A620i, which is all about getting you onto the M5 platform without breaking the bank. As you know, the A620 chipset is AMD's entry-level offering for their latest Ryzen processors, and while you might think these boards are just for the really basic CPUs, you can actually pair this with a pretty respectable mid-range chip. I mean, you could even throw a Ryzen 9 in there in certain circumstances. For what it is, the Gigabyte A620i packs a surprising punch. It's got a 5+2+1 phase VRM with a heatsink, which is a solid foundation, and from what I've gathered, that should be plenty for the non-X Ryzen chips, and likely even handle the 7600X, 7700X, and 7800X 3D, as well as the lower power 65W Ryzen 9000 series down the line. Now, being a mini ITX board, it's compact, which means you've got 2 RAM slots. You also get a single SI 4.0 M.2 slot for your super fast ME SSD. Then around the back you'll find a good selection of ports, 2 USB 2.0, 1 USB 3.2 Gen 2, a couple of USB 3.2 Gen 1, and a USB-C 3.2 Gen 1 port, plus gigabit Ethernet. You know, there are other A620 boards out there like the MSI Pro A620 ME, which might save you a few bucks. But here's why this Gigabyte board stands out. The consensus is that its VRM setup is just a touch more robust, and that heatsink is a nice touch, especially since many other budget A620 boards skimp on that. So if your main goal is to jump into the world of DDR5 RAM and the latest AMD tech without emptying your wallet, the Gigabyte A620i looks like a smart starting point. Next we've got the